What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Island Major Bludd. And so here we have Major Bludd posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Major Bludd does come with two different firearms. We do get a revolver style blaster, which looks really nice. I do like the detailing on it and looks great in his hand. And it does fit into his side holster, which looks really nice if you don't want him holding it. He also does come with a second blaster, which looks really cool. It does have a little peg hole at the nozzle, just so you can have a rocket peg into it. He does come with two rockets and they do peg in nicely. And if you don't want him holding this gun or the rockets, they do fit snugly in his backpack, so that's a really nice little detail. He also does get a helmet, which looks really nice on his head. I love the way it forms to his head. Hasbro did a good job with that. And he does have a set of dog tags that he wears around his neck, probably from all the fallen Joes he's defeated. Other than that, Major Bludd here doesn't come with anything else, so let's actually take a closer look at Major Bludd. And so here we have a closer look at Major Bludd, and Hasbro has done a really good job with this face. I love the detailing that they put into Major Bludd here. I really like the sculpt. They did a fantastic job implementing the 5 o'clock shadow that you can see underneath his chin. That looks really nice. I do like the facial expression that he has on him. I really dig the scarring that they put on his face, although if it was me, honestly, I'd have a little more scarring right here, but it still looks fantastic, and they did use the photoreal on Major Bludd here. They even added a little white streak to his hair, which looks really good. I do like how his hair came out. They did a really good job sculpting and painting that. Although on mine you can see that there is a little area that they did miss, but that's not a huge deal. Now, in his accessories, I did mention that he does come with a helmet, and I really like the way it fits on his head. It's almost as if they sculpted this with the specific intentions to having him wearing it, and it looks really good. It's not oversized, and his head isn't undersized, which is normally the case when you have helmets. The head is either too small or the helmet is too big. This seems just right. I do like that. So taking that off, really nice face here on Major Bludd. He looks like a very vicious person. So having to look at his body, if you've been collecting the G.I. Joe Classified series, you'll know that Major Bludd is mostly reuse of the Cobra Trooper, with the exception of his right arm and his shins, and of course the added armor and holster. He's essentially a Cobra Trooper, and I don't have an issue with that, just because there's enough here to make it look different, but at the same time it's uniform the way you would expect a terrorist organization to look. Really do like the way his armor is here. You can see there is some difference in texture right here. We have those little, I guess, ventilation areas right there on his chest. Then we have this part right here. We have the straps that hold his armor together, which look really nice. We have, of course, have that little peg port where his backpack fits in. Again, really nice texturing here on the armor. They did a really good job just sculpting the armor, making it look like a futuristic piece. And it actually looks like an extension of his arm. That's another thing I do like. As you can see on this arm, we do have the standard Cobra Trooper left arm, and it's complete with the gauntlet and the Cobra insignia right here, just so you can see that it is part of the Cobra Infantry Trooper. I don't have an issue with it personally, and I think it looks really nice. What I do love is his robotic, cybernetic, whatever you want to call it. This arm looks very nice. I do like it. Although my only gripe with it is the hinge that they chose on it. He has an in and out hinge right here rather than an up and down hinge. If this was an up and down hinge, I probably would enjoy it a little bit better, but as it stands, really liking this arm. It has very nice detail, even right here on the mechanical parts. We can lift that up a little bit. Very fantastic arm, and I love the way it came out. And like I said, it looks like an extension of his armor too. Having a look at his belt, you can see he does have, I'm gonna guess these are rounds that he puts into his gun here, which that's the most logical thing because they look almost identical to that. So they're probably just reloading for his revolver style blaster. We do have a buckle right here, and I really like the not the weathering, but the sculpting that they put here. They did a lot of nice texturing here on his holster. It looks like worn leather. And then of course the straps that hold his holster onto his leg. That looks really good. And then of course we do have that same brown motif going on, although unlike the Cobra Trooper, he doesn't have an extra layer of paint right here. I think some of this darker brown would have looked nice right here, especially because the Cobra Troopers have that darker color right here. I think this is still really nice. It does have the seam lines that we would see on the Cobra Troopers, same knee pads, but those still look really nice. And of course they do have the peg holes, so if that bothers you, unfortunately he still has the peg holes. His boots are completely different from the Cobra Infantry Trooper though. You can see he does have his own shin guards right here, and they are battle damaged, so that is a really nice little nod. Then you can see they do clip onto his boots right here. Really loving the pattern and the texturing on his boots. It looks like real leather boots, and I love the fact that he has almost like this cowboy feel to him, especially because his boots look like cowboy boots. You can see they do have a strap right here which does go all the way around, especially right here on the heel, then goes over the foot. Then we do have some armor plating on his toes. Again, his boots have like a cowboy feel to him, and him with a revolver, it just has this western feel, which I do like that. It's not 100% western, but it is really close. So that's Major Bludd for you guys. What we're going to do now is actually take a little break and get them compared to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Major Bludd posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Major Bludd posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Major Bludd posed next to a Lightning Collection White Range and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. Here we do have Major Bludd posed next to a G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Commander and Duke. With the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a closer look at Major Bludd's articulation. Now he does have the standard ball hinge in the head, which does let him look up to about right there if my camera will focus. He can look down only to about right there just because of how low his head sits on that ball joint, and because of that we don't get any tilt whatsoever, but he does turn left and right no problem. He does have some slight tilt right here at the ball joint at the neck, and that does help him look up and down, but most of your range is going to come from that hinge. He does have a butterfly joint in the arm, and as you can see, despite having this shoulder pad on his cybernetic arm, it does go back quite a bit. It actually goes back further than his normal arm. That's kind of interesting. How about going forward? Going forward, yeah, it goes farther forward on the mechanical arm than it does on his normal arm. But there's one place that the mechanical arm does suffer a little bit, and that's out to the side. Because of the armor, it only gets about that far, unfortunately. With his other arm, you can actually get it all the way out. I think you can actually move his arm a little bit more, but I haven't figured out how to do it, because even though this is on a hinge, I can't get it to go past that. So if yours does go further, let me know down in the comments. It of course does go all the way around, and that's the same for both arms. You just gotta be very conscious about how you have it, because he has some heavy detents in this arm, heavier than this one, so you can actually get this arm closer than this one, but once you get this one normal, it does work fine. He does have a bicep swivel, working no problem. Double bend here at the elbow, as you can see, works perfectly fine. At the wrist, we do have up and down hinge on the left hand, which is a little bit disappointing because that's the kind of hinge you want right here. This one has in and out hinge, and they both do swivel. He does have an ab crunch, which does lean that far forward, so that's pretty good. Going back, he goes all the way back. He's matrixing it right there. He also does have a really generous ball joint right here, so we get some hula hooping action as well as left and right rotation. Drop down hips do go forward about that far, which is pretty far to be quite honest. Going back about that far, out to the side, no problem. He does have a thigh swivel right here. Double bend at the knee, going about that far, so really good range in his knees. Swivel at the boot. We do have a hinge in the ankle going back, and we do get some going forward, and then of course we do have forward facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, I think Major Bludd here has some pretty good articulation. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Major Bludd posed for my final thoughts. And overall, Major Bludd here is an exceptional figure. I do like the fact that he does reuse some parts from the Cobra Infantry Trooper with that new arm. I think the arm is fantastic. It's enough here to be different, but you'll also notice it when you look at him very carefully that he is wearing the same uniform as a Cobra Trooper. I don't have an issue with that, seeing as how they are supposed to be a unit, and having them in the same uniform does make sense. And Major Bludd here being a different rank, it does make sense that his uniform is going to be a little bit different. I do love the weapons that he comes with, although I kind of feel like he needed an up and down wrist, especially for the right hand. Seeing as how that's the hand that I'm going to have him with his weapon in the most, it does drive me a little bit insane that has an in and out hinge rather than up and down. Other than that, I'm still very happy with Major Bludd here. Even though he isn't my personal favorite Cobra villain, he's still important enough to have in your collection now. Unfortunately, Major Bludd here was exclusive to Target, and if you missed out on Target's pre-order or even the order, you did pass up on Major Bludd, and thankfully I was able to get mine for under $50. I did get it from Dorkside Toys, where I paid a little bit over retail, and I think I paid $30 for Major Bludd, which is not too bad because that's only $10 above retail. Major Bludd here is still a fantastic figure, and I do enjoy him in my collection. If you are looking for Major Bludd, you might want to try Amazon. Amazon is actually where I found him on Dorkside Toys for $30. So if you're lucky enough to find him for a price like $30, definitely add him to your collection, especially if you're a fan of classic G.I. Joe or just want a really gnarly looking villain to have in your shelf. You can actually use Major Bludd anywhere. Yeah, you don't really need to have him in G.I. Joe, but he looks best with the G.I. Joe characters, but he doesn't have too many Cobra emblems, so you can squeeze him into other displays, so I do like that. With that being said, guys, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other G.I. Joe videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you'd like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.